y'all doing this morning? Well, I can't get out and I can't get out in the field right now, man. Too much snow. Too much snow, and I know these guys and they're not going to be out running around in this crap right now. So, I'm going to have to wait it out a little bit more here before I head out there. So, anyway, I was thinking last night, there's something I have never really talked about to nobody, and I decided last night I think I'm going to go ahead and talk about this because it just needs to be said, put it that way. Now, where I'm going with this is this. My research has taken me to about every place there is in the Sierras, from the north to the south part of the Sierras and points in between. I've covered a lot of area of the Sierras, probably more than most. And so anyway, there was one particular place, like I said, I've never talked about, and this one place is, I'll put it this way, there are hominin hybrids in this one particular area that have probably the most aggressive hybrids that me and Garland have ever encountered. And we've had some interactions with some that are a little aggressive and such like that, but nothing like these guys. So let me just get started with this. Okay, so about a couple of years ago, me and Garland, for the last time, we wanted to wrap up. I wanted to wrap up my research in this particular area that I'm going to tell you about. We researched this area for a few years, and it's a little place most people don't know about, and has not. I don't know any of the researchers that have actually researched this area that I was at, me and G. And so, when this event began, was B and G went up to Willow Creek, China Flat, up to the Bigfoot Museum, and we were going up there. I was going to hand over some artifacts I donated to the museum, and we had a pretty good time while we were there, and got to mingle and stuff like that. And I was even allowed to film in the museum, which is very rare. And which I did that for you guys, because I know there's a lot of you who can't get to that museum, and that's one of the reasons why I did that. And anyway, when we got done what we had to do up there, and on the way back home, me and G just kind of looked at each other and said, "Hey, why don't we go stop by at that one area? Yeah, let's wrap up our research there." And I says, "You know what? I was thinking the same thing." Me and G was pretty good about that. We can actually read each other's minds, kind of speak, you know. We knew each other that well. And so, and we both decided, you know, we're going to wrap, I told him, I says, I'm going to wrap this up anyway. We've been up here for quite a few years. We've done about all we can do. And I didn't want to push the envelope any further with these guys because of the fact they're so very aggressive. And so there we went. So we decided we were going to camp out, and I was going to wrap up my research after that night. So anyway, we got there, and It's one area. It's a little tiny place most people don't know about, but it's called Helena. It's in California. And the area we went to is right by what they call the base of the Oregon Pass. And when you get down there to the area that we were at doing all our research at, you have to drive down this one road down here. It's about a 35-degree angle going down. So coming back up, it's a hell of a grade to get back out of there. So it's good to have the proper vehicle to get down in there so you can get the hell back out if you have to. So anyway, we arrived there probably about mid-afternoon, and we went down the grade. We got down where we always end up at when we make it our base camp and go out and conduct our research. Now the area I'm at, you have the Trinity River, and then off the Trinity, it forks off, see, and to like a nice flowing creek. And then as it nears the Oregon Pass, it forks off again. And right in that area is one of the most extreme dead zones and hot spots that we have ever encountered. And for good reasons. So anyway, as we were there, we were scouting around and kind of getting nosy and seeing what's going on in the area. So we're researching the area, observing everything and such. Right off the creek bank, the one that forks. This one here forks off. It goes off to the east. The other one goes back up to the north. And so the east part, right off the bank, was the carcass of a dead deer. I studied the deer, and the deer was not taken down by any known predator that we know of. And we, knowing what's in that area as the major predator, knew what made the kill. When they do make a kill, they're not like a regular predator. They just don't go in, tear into it, and whatever. Okay? They're pretty methodic on their kills. And so we do that. We just might have one hell of a night that night. And guess what? I heard the old saying, you better watch what you wish for. Well, that was one of those nights. Now, we've encountered these kind of hybrids quite a few times up there. That's why I know they're very aggressive. So anyway, we set up our camp, getting ready for the night. And we got our fire going really good, and we got our equipment out. Well, around about 9 o'clock, 9:30 that night, we geared up, and we took a little trek down to where it forks. As soon as we arrived down there, the first thing we filmed was some footprints that were just off the beach and submerged under the water. When you look across from the fork where it forks off from the main, there's another side on the beach over there. There's a lot of these flat rocks, big boulders and such. And that whole section, it blew our mind. The whole section was covered with a variety of different types of rock markers. Expressing all kinds of symbolism. And so we knew that the night was going to be active as hell. We just had that feeling. So I think around 10 o'clock p.m., we set up right there off the bank of the river, or the creek, I should say. And all of a sudden, right off to our left, we can hear something walking right off the bank, which is like gravel and sand. And whatever it was heavy and it was walking, but it was walking upright, not on fours. And then it stopped. And we looked over that direction. I caught some eye shine real quick. I heard some more movement. It moved back into the forest. And then it went quiet for probably about a couple minutes. Then it came back out again and started walking up and down. It's what they do, what these type of hybrids do is they screw with you mentally. That's what they start off with. They screw with you mentally. They start doing things that are not normal type of things that you would experience. You would hear sounds, they mimic sounds of certain animals. It doesn't sound familiar to you. And this is how they screw with you mentally. And what they'll also do is purposely, they'll do a very aggressive move. Like maybe break through some branches or snap some stuff just to get your attention. So we knew basically what we're dealing with. So anyway, you have to understand too, this part of the creek, I mean, this guy could have been on us in minutes, less than minutes, in seconds, because the deepest part was probably like 3 or 4 feet deep. From his eye shine, I know this guy was 8+ feet. And huge, this guy was massive. You can see his silhouette in the dark. So I told Garland, I says, well, let's get up to the high ground a little bit. I'm starting to feel too uneasy being at the lower level, too close to the situation. So, of course, in the higher ground you get a better view of things. So we went up on the high ground a little bit, just probably about 20, 30 feet above the bank. Because you have to hike down and it kind of slopes like that, see, to get down to the flowing water. So, while we're up there, we were scanning, and now and then we hit our lights, and we would scan. And then about that time, we heard movement in the same area again, and then they started throwing things at us. Debris from the forest, whatever they could pick up and toss at you. And they was like throw here, there, over here, over there, just to grab your attention, like I said, to screw with you mentally. And so, basically what they're doing is they don't want you there. It's their way of making you leave. And they'll take it from one phase to the next, whatever it takes to get you the hell out of there. These guys in that area are extremely territorial, believe me, and they protect their territory with a passion. So anyway, Garland looked at me and says, brother man, maybe we ought to just go back to the camp right now. I said, yeah, let's go. We're kind of pushing the envelope too much. So we trekked back to the camp. About that time, it's probably about 12:30 at night, p.m. And we got into the camp. It was no more than a couple minutes we were there. And then all of a sudden, you feel like you got a bunch of eyes watching. And you start feeling really uneasy, real uneasy. All your alertness comes aware like you can't believe. The senses just kick in, high gear. At least with me it does. I've already tapped in my sixth sense way back in the war. I've never lost it. I still have it. Most don't possess sixth sense that they could utilize. We all have it. We're born with it. Most don't utilize it. And I felt it in my gut. These guys were really close to us. And about that time, we started hearing a little bit of vocalization, but the problem was it was coming from off to our left. Then you would hear another one coming from the right, one coming from the front, and then coming from the rear. I knew right there and then, so did Garland, shit, we're surrounded, man. And I knew then it was time to get the hell out of Dodge, okay? About that time I said that, they started throwing debris at us again, and it was coming into the camp, hitting the vehicle, and it was getting pretty intense. And at that point, they were actually, some of them were actually getting so close to us, but yet staying in the thickets of the pines and such. But man, they let you know they're there by throwing their, how would I say, their massive weight around within the forest, snapping shit, snapping limbs like it was nothing. There was a huge, like a huge manzanita tree that they literally took it and ripped it to hell. And all this that I'm telling you, I documented on video. If you would like to see what I'm talking about, because all this evidence that I'm telling you right now is in the video. Even the carcass of the deer I was telling you. I believe it was a 2-part video. It's on my channel. It was called Return to Bigfoot Country. Go back, revisit that video, look at it. And anyway, so Garland looked at me, he says, Danny, get the hell out of here. He says, I feel too uneasy. And then he looked at me, he says, you got your gun out? I said, yeah, I got my gun out. Don't worry about it, we're okay. And so we put the fire out as quick as we could. Partly, you got to make sure that fire's out. We loaded the gear back in the car, so we just threw it in the car. And we knew it was time to leave. Like I said, we pushed the envelope. And so when we got in the vehicle, coming up that grade, oh my God, I'm telling you, man, if you don't hit it just right, you might not get back out. Because the grade is so steep coming back out. And when I went up the first time, I didn't give it enough power, man, and it just stopped mid, and it just started rolling back, and I mean, it was rolling back towards them. They were right behind us, and they were still out there throwing shit at us. And G just looked at me, he says, God damn it, Daddy, hit the frickin' gas, get the hell out of here. Finally, I let her roll a little bit, you know, a couple little rock, a little bit, and I just nailed it, man. I'm telling you what, we just barely got the hell out of there that night. And when we got on top, we got off with grade, and we got on top, up in the higher level, we stopped. We just listened, and I could hear them down there. Almost kind of like celebrating victory, so to speak. They got rid of us. Now I'm going to tell you something. These are the kind of hybrids that basically, through the years of my research, these guys were created out of the part of evolution, what I call the gray area, which was millions and millions of years ago. In that gray area, there were dozens of species of hominins that were created, okay? Different types. And some resembling close to human, and some not even close to a human, something else. And when I wrapped up and did my conclusion on my research in that area, I concluded this, on that particular species of hybrids, they do come from the gray area. They're one of the very few that I even know of survived from the gray area. And these are the type you really want to stay away from. You don't want to be in their territory, just leave these guys be, is what we did. I garnished a hell of a lot of evidence out of that area. anyhow. So I was satisfied with the research at that point in time. And on the way back down home, me and Garland, we didn't talk for about a good hour. I guess we were just reminiscing what we just experienced. And I'm telling you, it was very intense. Very intense. I mean, anybody normally that's not used to or had interactions like we've had, I'll tell you right now, there's no way in hell you could have handled it. You would have, you'd have lost it. I'm not kidding. And so anyway, we just, then all of a sudden, an hour later, we both looked at each other at the same time. We said, you know what? We're not coming back up here again. I think I've had it with this place. And that was the last time, and that was a wrap. And then I ended up concentrating on the one part, mainly the Sierras, on the eastern part. And which I felt was a far better deal because of the fact that I did document there are several types of these hominin hybrid species up there, and the more intelligent type we ran into, more related towards us, human. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, and because I never talked about that. But it's a little bit, it's just a little bitty, it looks like a little dot on the map, but it's Helena, California. And I imagine that, well, they're still there. They've been there for a hell of a long time, millenniums. And they'll continue to stay there. Of course, you know me by now, and ones that don't, I never give up exactly where it's at. Okay? And that's my way. Even these type, they still need to be protected because of the fact they have existed for so damn long, and they earned that right. And we definitely don't have the right to take that away from them. Modern human beings ain't earned much of anything, as far as I'm concerned. So, anyway, I just wanted to get that out of me, let you know. There's different types of hybrids that I have dealt with, and me and Garland, when he was around. Well, I sure miss him, I'm telling you that. Come think about it. This is March. Mark and remember the date. March 24th. It was three or 4 years ago Garland passed away. And I'll always keep his memory here. I'll always keep his memory alive. And he'll be missed. So, and you know, after that I've been pretty much, well, doing the research solo. I do have plans. I'm taking a few people out with me this year. I already have that set up. And I got a gut feeling I'm going to have a blast up here when all this bad weather breaks. I cut my ass loose up in these mountains. I'm going to find some shit out there. Trust me on that, because I always do. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know that, okay? So, I'm looking at the snow right now, man. This is dropping pretty good. Hell of a winter up here right now. Just off my property a little bit. I was out there yesterday digging snow, and I got places here that's like 4 feet deep plus, and I got more coming. So anyway, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my weekend. You guys do the same. Guys, take care. I'll catch you on the rebound. Bye.